Hello everyone, welcome to Super Kalam. I am your mentor and teacher Arpita Sharma and welcome back to this very interesting class. Today we are going to wrap up, we are going to cover and complete and close themes in Indian history part 1 NCRT class 12th. आज चौथा चैप्टर दैट इज फोर्थ चैप्टर वी आर गोइंग टू कवर. वी हैव कवर्ड द स्टार्टिंग थ्री चैप्टर्स एंड फोर चैप्टर्स हमने शुरू के तीन चैप्टर्स बहुत अच्छे से कवर किए हैं. टुडे वी आर कवरिंग द फोर्थ चैप्टर एंड दिस इज इंटरेस्टिंग. This is my expertise area. Why? Because we are going to talk about Jainism, Buddhism, Hindu philosophies, etc. और मुझे पढ़ाना और पढ़ना philosophies and different religions बहुत मजा आता है because we explore our past through these philosophies, right? अब इंडियन स्कूल ऑफ फिलोसफीज को जब हम एक्सप्लोर करते हैं ना, वी कैन लिंक देम विद साइंस ऑल्सो, विद यूनिवर्स ऑल्सो. दैट इज द बेस्ट पार्ट. एंड interestingly, UPSC's favorite chapter is this fourth chapter. Every year you will find 4 to 8 marks directly coming from this chapter. So we and specifically in prelims. So we are going to focus on that. Make sure that you comment in the comment section once you complete the class. What is the ritual that we follow? That you need to comment that I am going to be disciplined. ये करना ही है आपको, चाहे कितना ही बचपना लगे इसमें. आप कमेंट नहीं करोगे तो ब्रेन में रजिस्टर नहीं होगा कि हमको डिसिप्लिन फॉलो करना है. एंड इन माय क्लासेस दिस इज मैंडेटरी. So if you're watching this session, watch it till the very end. There are going to be questions. We are going to make notes. But I also want all of you to write down in the comment section, I am going to be disciplined. Jaldi se likh do, tabhi aayegi next class, right? Because in the last class also I asked you to write down I am disciplined. You wrote it down. That is why we are making this class. I will stop the NCRT sessions if you're not going to comment. Okay? तो फटाफट से comment कर दो. Let's get started. So, we are going to start with the last chapter today, Thinkers, Beliefs and Buildings. This is chapter number 4 in Themes of Indian History, part 1 NCRT. Now, this is going to be really important. Why? Because the weightage of this chapter, if we go by the weightage, because हमको पता होना चाहिए, we should know. Accordingly, we can prioritize the chapters, right? Weightage in prelims in this chapter is basically of 10, and weightage in mains is again of 10 marks. So this chapter becomes highly relevant, highly important when it comes to your both prelims and mains examination, right? यहाँ पर in this chapter, what are we going to study? So I've created a timeline over here, a mind map over here through which we are going to prepare this chapter. So we are going to study the philosophical thought in ancient history. We are going to study the Upanishads, Buddhism, Jainism. Then we are going to study architecture. Architecture mein we will be studying the stupas, the temples, the cave architecture. Then we'll study art and sculpture, जिसके अंदर हम सांची, अजंता, अमरावती के sculptures को पढ़ेंगे. Then we will study preservation and discoveries, शाहजहां, बेगम, कनिंघम, कोल, हम इन सब के बारे में पढ़ने वाले हैं. How these people discovered, right? टाइमलाइन, मेजर रिलीजियस एंड आर्किटेक्चरल डेवलपमेंट्स कैसे हुए हैं हम वो पढ़ने वाले हैं. एंड दिस माइंड मैप दैट वी आर गोइंग टू मेक विल हेल्प यू रिवाइज this particular chapter for both prelims and mains in under 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, now let us subdivide the chapters. अब मैं एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देती हूँ कि कैसे हम इन टॉपिक्स को पढ़ेंगे. For example, when we talk about philosophical developments, we are going to study about Upanishads. Write it down. Upanishadic thinkers, क्योंकि थिंकर्स का चैप्टर है, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. 8 मार्क्स का वेटेज यहाँ से आराम से 4 to 8 मार्क्स का वेटेज आता है. We will study about the concept of Atman, Brahman, Karma and Rebirth. We will study about, write it down, materialistics or materialists, that is Lokayata and fatalists. Fatalists कौन थे? अजीविकास and how they rejected Vedas, right? Then we will study about Jainism. फिर हम Jainism के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. We will study about Buddhism. Both are contemporary to each other. In Jainism, we'll study about Ahimsa, Tirthankaras, how Jainism spread. Buddhism में हम पढ़ेंगे life of Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, etc. In art and architecture, we will study about stupas. Stupas में we'll study about the Sanchi stupa, right? Then हम पढ़ेंगे temples के बारे में. Temples में we will study about Garbhagriha, Shikhara, temple architecture. And we'll study about sculpture. Sculpture में we'll study about Amravati sculptures, Amravati school of sculpture. We'll study about sculptures found in Gandhar, Mathura schools of sculpture we will study, right? देन शला भांजिका मोटिव, जो कि आपका प्रीलिम्स में इसके बारे में पूछा गया था. एंड मेनी स्टूडेंट्स वर कंफ्यूज्ड फ्रॉम वेयर दिस क्वेश्चन हैज बीन आस्क्ड. दिस वाज आस्क्ड फ्रॉम अगेन योर एनसीईआरटीज. शलाभंजिका मोटिव्स, ये एनसीईआरटी से ही पूछा गया था. सो दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. सी, दिस इज व्हाई इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू स्टडी एनसीईआरटीज. और एल्स वील थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स क्वेश्चंस आर आस्क्ड फ्रॉम एनीवेयर, जो कि नहीं होता है, राइट. प्रिजर्वेशन एफर्ट्स में हम पढ़ेंगे कनिंगम्स एक्सकवेशंस, कोल्स प्ली फॉर इन सीटू प्रिजर्वेशन एटसेट्रा. Then we will study about location of Buddhist, sites, important personalities. We will study about different terms, etc. तो ये हमारा total topic रहेगा. Now here I am going to give you a mains question also in the start of the session, so that after the session you can solve this question. Question is very simple. Discuss the role, discuss the role of women in in preserving ancient heritage with reference to Shahjahan Begum and Sanchi. Don't worry, you will be in a position to answer this question once the class is over. So basically 10 marks का question रहेगा, 1.5 page. You will need to write the answer. You all know the ritual of the class. You will have to write the answer, get it evaluated by Super Kalam, and then tell me your scores in the comment section. Comment section में अपने scores बताना. How to get it evaluated by Super Kalam? Let me show you. You go to superkalam.com. यहाँ पर आप मेंस इवैल्यूएशन पे क्लिक करेंगे एंड हेयर यू क्लिक ऑन स्टार्ट इवैल्यूएशन, अपलोड योर आंसर शीट. विद इन 60 seconds योर एंटायर आंसर विल बी इवैल्यूएटेड बाय सुपर कलाम. ओके, नाउ लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड. शुरू करें आज का सेशन. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट थिंकर्स, बिलीव्स एंड बिल्डिंग्स, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल देखो, अंडरस्टैंड दिस दैट देयर आर ग्रेट स्तूपा एट सांची, बट डू यू नो दैट दिस ग्रेट स्तूपा एट सांची, it survived all these years because of two powerful women rulers. We will study about it. ठीक है, यहाँ पर हम पढ़ेंगे कि दो पावरफुल विमेन रूलर्स थी जिनके वजह से ये स्तूपा ऑफ सांची सर्वाइव किया. मोस्ट वंडरफुल एंशियंट बिल्डिंग्स इन द स्टेट ऑफ भोपाल आर एट सांची कानाखेरा, which is a small village under the brow of a hill. And we inspected the stone sculptures and statues of Buddha and an ancient gateway. The ruins appear to be the object of great interest to European gentlemen. Major Alexander Cunningham stayed several weeks in this neighborhood and examined these ruins most carefully. He took drawings of the place, deciphered the inscription, and bored shafts down these domes. Result of his investigations were described by him in an English work. So this is again important. How unique it is. So this is important. She was the Nawab of Bhopal. तभी मैंने आपको बोला कि पावरफुल विमेन रूलर्स रही हैं जिनके अंडर दीज काइंड ऑफ एक्सकवेशंस टुक प्लेस. You have to remember this for prelims. अब यहाँ से ही if a question is formed and if you haven't studied this particular blue box, you will be in shock कि अब ये कहाँ से question आ गया and how to solve this. That is why studying NCRTs are important. Okay, इसीलिए important है. And here on page number 2 you will find the names of those two powerful women rulers because of which this stupa survived. Shahjahan Begum and Sultan Jihan Begum. These are the two women rulers. At that time they funded the museum which was built around this. They gave all the support, the guest house where John Marshall lived while he was discovering this particular stupa, while he was studying this particular stupa. And it is one of the most important Buddhist centers also. So ये बहुत ही important, ये की आर्कियोलॉजिकल साइट है जो आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया ने मेंशन भी किया है काफी बार. ऑल राइट, तो यहाँ पर अगर आप देखोगे यू मस्ट हैव सीन दीज इमेजेस, द ग्रेट स्तूपा एट सांची. तो अगर आप दिल्ली से भोपाल बाय ट्रेन ट्रैवल करते हो तब आप इस मेजेस्टिक स्तूपा कॉम्प्लेक्स को देखोगे जो विच इज बिल्ट ऑन द टॉप ऑफ अ हिल. All right, so this is very, very important. Now we'll start with our session. Now, first of all, we are going to study about the philosophical thought process, the philosophical thinkers, the Upanishadic thinkers, Jainism, Buddhism, etc. But let us also not forget that the mid first millennium BCE is regarded as the turning point in world history because a lot of thinkers emerged. जैसे कि ईरान में ज़ाराथुस्त्रा emerged. In China, Kongzi was the very famous thinker at that time. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle in Greece, then Mahavira and Gautam Buddha in India. And all of these thinkers were trying to do one thing. That one thing was to understand the mysteries of existence and how there is a relationship between human beings and the cosmic order, and how this relationship works, how you can access the cosmic order, how cosmic order communicates with the humans. दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट एंड दिस इज व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी. देखो, जब हम उपनिषदिक थिंकर्स की बात करते हैं, लेट मी क्रिएट अ स्लाइड ओवर हियर. उपनिषदिक, एंड यू ऑल्सो हैव टू मेक नोट्स विद मी, मेरे साथ साथ नोट्स ना बनाते जाओ. उपनिषदिक थिंकर्स. देखो, फर्स्ट थिंग दैट यू नीड टू स्टडी इज व्हाट वर द कोर आइडियाज ऑफ दीज उपनिषदिक थिंकर्स. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. The core ideas basically revolved around Atman. First, Atman. Atman means yourself. Then, Brahman. Brahman means ultimate reality. The ultimate reality, which is also known as the soul of universe, right? Then, Karma. Karma means your actions, your doings. And rebirth. Rebirth means punarjanam, when you are born again, right? And liberation. Liberation means moksha, nirvana, when you are free from the cycle of birth and death. These are the core ideas of Upanishadic thinkers. तो पहले तो आपको core ideas याद रखने हैं. You have to remember these core ideas. When we talk about the core text, or you can say the key texts of Upanishadic thinkers, those were Chandogya Upanishad. This is very important, please write it down. Chandogya Upanishad. Upanishad means when you are sitting near a guru and gaining the knowledge, that is Upanishad. So Chandogya Upanishad basically focuses on internal sacrifice. आंतरिक, जब आप सरेंडर कर देते हो, सैक्रिफाइस करते हो, ओवर एक्सटर्नल रिचुअल्स. Over external rituals, that means whatever rituals externally you are performing, instead of that, if you're internally sacrificing yourself, surrendering yourself to the universe, that is mentioned in Chandogya Upanishad. That is also a key way to realize Brahman, that is the ultimate reality. But there are certain debates whether reality exists, whether ritualistic sacrifices should be rejected or not, राइट. तो इसके ऊपर थोड़े से आंतरिक डिबेट्स रहते हैं उपनिषदिक थिंकर्स के बीच में भी. बट दीज आर द कोर आइडियाज ऑन विच उपनिषदिक थिंकर्स दे think about or talk about. Now when we talk about sacrifices, we studied about the word sacrifice ना, rituals. तो जब हम इसकी बात करते हैं, initially in the Rig Veda, which was compiled between circa 1500 and 1000 BCE, it consists of different hymns to praise, to invoke the deities Agni Dev, Indra Dev, Soma Dev. And these hymns were chanted during performing sacrifices. Now here sacrifices means performing havan, performing yagnas, where people used to pray for good health of their children, their own life, their family, their sons, cattle, etc. Later on, when the later Vedic period and Mahajanpad period came up, more elaborate sacrifices were performed. For example, the Rajasuya Yagya, the Ashwamedha Yagya. Ashwamedha Yagya is mentioned in Ramayana also, right? So these were performed by elaborately by chiefs, by kings, who basically used to depend on Brahmana priests, because they were authorized to conduct these kind of sacrifices, havans and yagnas, right? So that is how we see the prominence, the rise of the Brahmins also, the Brahmin class people also, right? Because they were invited by the kings to perform these elaborate sacrifices. They had the knowledge of Vedas, they had the knowledge of chanting mantras, etc. Now then we got Upanishads. Ved के बाद हमारे पास Upanishads भी आए. Upanishad basically are dialogues between Guru and the Shishya, the Guru and the disciple. Basically, where the Guru and the disciple are talking about the meaning of life, what can happen after death, what happens after death, what is the actual meaning of life, what is the purpose that your soul is born, what is reincarnation, what is rebirth, etc. All these things. For example, if you talk about the Kathopanishad की बात करें, it is a dialogue between Yamraj, the god of death, and Nachiketa. They are talking about death, the meaning of death. What is death? Why death happens? What happens after death? What is the journey of the soul? That is all discussed in detail in Kathopanishad. You try to read Kathopanishad sometimes. आपको वहां पर बहुत elaborate, बहुत metaphysical discussion मिलेगी, quantum thinking मिलेगी, right? So these were the Upanishads. Basically, they were talking about ultimate reality, and people started speculating about that. Thinkers were concerned about how to express this ultimate reality, and that is why these dialogues happened, these debates, these discussions happened. And we see these kind of discussions and debates happening in the Buddhist Sangha also. जो बुद्धिस्ट कम्युनिटीज होती थी, उसमें भी ये डिस्कशंस, ये डिबेट्स हुआ करते थे अबाउट अहिंसा, अबाउट द सफरिंग, द नेचर ऑफ सफरिंग, हाउ वी कैन ओवरकम सफरिंग, एट फोल्ड पाथ, etc. Now here this term is very important, Kuta Grahashala. What is this? This is important. 2 marks यहाँ से directly prelims में निकल सकते हैं. It means a place, a hut with pointed roof, a hut with pointed roof in groves where traveling mendicants used to stop. Halted means stop, and they used to do debates on ultimate reality. राइट, जितने भी साधु संत होते थे इस तरीके की एक हट में, एक झोपड़ी में थोड़ी देर रुककर वहां बैठ के आपस में डिस्कशन किया करते थे, डिबेट किया करते थे. राइट. सो दिस place was known as Kutagrahashala. This is very important for prelims. Now, when we talk about Buddhism and Jainism, we also see one very important aspect, that in Buddhism and Jainism, they used to negate the authority of Vedas. They used to say that even one individual in his own capacity is capable of attaining liberation. Right, they are capable of freeing themselves from the trials and tribulations of worldly existence. That is possible. Buddhism or Jainism में ये बात कही गई. Right, because at that time many Brahmins were trying to you can say misuse the innocence of people, because लोगों को तो normally people didn't were not aware of Vedas, how to chant mantras, etc. So some people used to you can say misuse this particular innocence of people. They used to charge them, they used to extract money from them, and that is why. And plus there were certain rituals which Mahavira and Buddha were against, right, in terms of sacrifices, etc. So they used to emphasize on the fact that a person, be it human or be it female or male, is capable of attaining liberation on his own accord. So if we see the philosophy in Buddhism, this is very very important. Who was the founder of Buddhism? कौन थे जिन्होंने इसको स्टैब्लिश किया? इट वॉज सिद्धार्था गौतमा. राइट इट डाउन. इट वॉज सिद्धार्था गौतमा हु फाउंडेड बुद्धिज्म. Okay, who is also given the title Buddha. Do you know that the name Buddha is not the name, it is a title given to enlightened one. Okay, then what was the core philosophy in Buddhism? Core philosophy क्या थी ये समझ लेते हैं. So in Buddhism the core philosophy was, first was the four noble truth. What were the four noble truths? It was suffering. First was suffering. That means you have to accept that there is dukh, there is suffering in the universe. Then cause. If there is suffering, there will be cause of that suffering, which was also known as samudaya. Samudaya. Okay. Then cessation. Cessation means when there is a cause of suffering, there will be a solution also to end that suffering. Nirodh. And then path. Path means, path was also known as magga, which means there is a path on which if you walk on that path you will find the nirod, the solution of this suffering. Okay, so these were the four noble truths that a person has to accept in life, that there are sufferings, there will be a cause behind the suffering, there will be a solution to that suffering, and there is a path on which if you walk you will find the solution to that suffering. These were the four noble truths. Then next philosophy was the eightfold, write it down, path. Athanga Marga, eightfold path. Eightfold path basically talked about the right view. If you look at the life with the right view, you will never suffer. Intention, whatever you do, your intention should be pure. Speech, the right speech, your speech matters. Right action, right livelihood, the way you live life, right effort, mindfulness, if you're living your life with being mindful, and right concentration, if your concentration is being done in the right direction. These are the eightfold path. If you work on this eightfold path you will attain liberation. अगर आप सही व्यू रखते हो, सही नजरिया रखते हो, सही इंटेंशन से काम कर रहे हो, सही वचन बोलते हो, सही कर्म कर रहे हो, सही तरीके की जिंदगी जी रहे हो, सही एफर्ट्स डाल रहे हो, माइंडफुल हो कि आपके आसपास क्या हो रहा है, यू आर अवेयर एंड यू आर फोकसिंग राइटली. So this is the way how you can attain liberation, how you can live a good happy life. And here there are key concepts which are involved in Buddhism. What are the key concepts on which questions have been asked? Anika. First is anika. Anika means impermanence. You have to understand that nothing is permanent in life. कुछ भी permanent नहीं है जीवन में. Anika. Next concept is anatta. Anatta means non-self. You do not have to associate yourself with yourself. अपने आप को अपने सेल्फ से एसोसिएट करोगे तो ईगो आएगा. एंड निब्बाना. What is nibbana or nirvana? It is also known as nirvana. It was asked in 2012 prelims paper. Nibbana means liberation. Means when the fire of desire gets extinguished in your heart, that's when you attain liberation. जब वो अग्नि होती है ना, इच्छाओं की अग्नि, जब उससे मुक्ति मिल जाती है तब आप liberation attain कर लेते हो. So let us have a look at the First question. With reference to history of ancient India, which of the following was or were common to Buddhism and Jainism? First, avoidance of extremities of penance and enjoyment, indifference to the authority of Vedas, denial of the efficacy of rituals. Now, we all know that Buddhism advocated a middle path, that is, the avoidance of extremities of penance and enjoyment. But on the other hand, Jainism advocated extreme penance and asceticism. तो दिस इज नॉट कॉमन. आपको ये बताना है कि कॉमन क्या है बुद्धिज्म और जैनिज्म में, राइट? बट हमने एक्सट्रीमिटीज जैनिज्म में देखी हैं, राइट? अगर हम दिगंबरा सेक्ट देखें जैनिज्म का, व्हेन दे आर वेयर दे आर नॉट वियरिंग एनी क्लोथ्स, दैट शोज अस दी extremities, the usage of extremities in penance. So first statement is wrong. If first statement is wrong, A option will be eliminated, C and D will be eliminated. This is how elimination method is used, right? So we'll mark B. C, B is the correct answer, right? So this is how, after understanding and covering each and every topic, you have to solve previous year questions. You have to understand how UPSC can frame question from this particular topic, right? अब हमने यहाँ पर बुद्धिज्म के बारे में पढ़ लिया. Now another important aspect is that if we talk about Buddhism, now in Buddhism there are texts which are important. How do we know about Buddhism? There are texts through which we study about Buddhism. For example, first is Tripitakas. Tripitakas, right? First is Vinaya Pitaka. Pitaka means set of books. Sutta Pitaka, and we have Abhidhamma Pitaka. These were compiled, or you can say they were collected orally first. Then we have Jataka tales. Jataka tales. These are stories of Buddhas and his previous lives. So write it down. Stories of Buddhas previous lives. And do you know how do we come to know about incarnation, reincarnation? You know, abhi 14th Dalai Lama, he has sent this message that yes, he will be reincarnated. ओके उनका रीइनकारनेशन होगा, एंड उनका जो ट्रस्ट है वही उस रीइनकारनेटेड सोल को पहचानेगा उनके जाने के बाद, right? So this shows the ultimate belief in the system of reincarnation, in the process of reincarnation. ठीक है, तो ये कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स हैं जहां से हमें समझ आ रहा है, जहां से हमें पता चल रहा है कि रीइनकारनेशन इस तरीके से होता है, राइट? और या कुछ सेक्ट्स हैं जो रीइनकारनेशन में बिलीव करते हैं. नाउ हियर देयर आर अदर स्कूल्स ऑफ थॉट्स एज वेल इन बुद्धिज्म. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी हैव, मतलब नॉट इन बुद्धिज्म, इट इज नॉट इन बुद्धिज्म, अदर देन बुद्धिज्म वी हैव डिफरेंट अदर स्कूल्स ऑफ thoughts. For example, we have Ajivikas, which are known as fatalist, right? Write it down. They believed in predetermination, which means that they used to think there is no free will. कोई भी फ्री विल जैसी चीज नहीं है, आपको सब अपने बारे में पता है, आप अपने मालिक खुद हो, आप अपना डिसीजन खुद लेते हो, राइट? दिस इज हाउ दिस इज ओवर हियर. फैटलिस्ट एंड मटीरियलिस्ट. फैटलिस्ट यूज्ड टू थिंक दैट देयर इज नो फ्री विल. अजीविकास, फ्री विल है ही नहीं. एंड लोकायता और चार्वका मेंटालिटी इज नोन एज द मटीरियलिस्ट मेंटालिटी. राइट इट डाउन. लोकायता और दे आर ऑल्सो नोन एज चार्वक मेंटालिटी. चार्वक एक संत थे जिन्होंने ये मेंटालिटी अपनाई थी. मटीरियलिस्ट, दे यूज टू रिजेक्ट द वेदास, राइट? दे यूज टू रिजेक्ट द रिचुअल्स. दे इवन यूज टू रिजेक्ट आफ्टर लाइफ. दे यूज टू से दिस इज द ओनली लाइफ दैट यू आर लिविंग. यही लाइफ है, आज ही घी खाओ, आज ही उधार लो, यही जिंदगी है जो है, इसके बाद कोई जिंदगी नहीं होती है, राइट? दैट वॉज द फिलोसफी. तो ये आपको कुछ एस्पेक्ट्स याद रखने हैं. नाउ इफ वी गो टू जैनिज्म, अगर हम जैनिज्म की बात करते हैं ना, सो इन जैनिज्म दिस इज अगेन वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. हु वॉज द फाउंडर? देखो, फाउंडर तो ऋषभदेव थे, बट वर्धमान महावीरा थे जिन्होंने इसको एक्चुअली आगे फैलाया था, आगे स्प्रेड किया था. नाउ देर आर सर्टन कोर फिलोसफीज इन जैनिज्म. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी हैव अहिंसा. अहिंसा मीन्स नॉन वायलेंस. Even stones and water have life. That was given in Jainism. That was said in Jainism. Then another philosophy is asceticism and renunciation. Write it down. Renunciation for liberation. ये दो चीजें, आपको अगर मुक्ति चाहिए तो आपको चीजों का त्याग करना होगा, वैराग्य अपनाना होगा. Then only you can get liberated. And there were key teachings in Jainism. What were the key teachings? 5 vows. What were the 5 vows? नॉन वायलेंस. आपको 5 ओथ लेनी है. नॉन वायलेंस. ट्रूथ, ऑलवेज स्पीक द ट्रूथ. नॉन स्टीलिंग, नेवर स्टील समथिंग, राइट? सेलिबेसी आपको अपनानी है. ब्रह्मचर्य एंड नॉन पोसेशन. अपारिग्रह, नॉन पोसेशन, राइट? बिकॉज व्हेन यू पोसेस, you develop ईगो इवेंचुअली। ओके, तो ये एक इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट हो जाता है इन जैनिज्म, दैट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर। नाउ हियर दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ तीर्थंकरास इन जैनिज्म? Tirthankara basically means those who guide men and women across the river of existence. That means a guru, जो आपको जीवन और मृत्यु के परे ले जाता है, राइट, उसको हम तीर्थंकरा बोलते हैं। टोटल 24 तीर्थंकरास और टीचर्स, स्पिरिचुअल गुरुज रहे हैं। एंड in fact, the principle of ahimsa focused within Jainism, it has left its mark. जैनिज्म का ये जो प्रिंसिपल है ना, ये हिंदुइज्म में भी देखने को मिलता है, काफी लोग इस चीज को आज भी फॉलो करते हैं, राइट। एंड आई टोल्ड यू अबाउट द 5 vows, ये तो मैंने आपको बता ही दिया था। एब्सटेन फ्रॉम किलिंग, एब्सटेन फ्रॉम स्टीलिंग, एब्सटेन फ्रॉम लाइंग, सेलिबेसी प्रैक्टिस करो, अपरिग्रह, दैट मीन्स डोंट possess any property because you will get attached to it, right, that will become a hurdle in you attaining liberation. Now this is very important aspect of Buddhism. Initially only men were allowed, because see, women used to take care of the children, right, they used to take care of the entire family। अगर आदमी कमा कर ला रहा है तो फैमिली को अंदर कैसे संचालन करना है, कैसे फैमिली को एकजुट करके रखना है, वो महिलाओं की भी उसमें रोल रहता था। तो men were only allowed initially into the sangh, but later on women also came to be admitted, and that happened because of Buddha's dearest disciple Ananda। he meditated a lot, एंड बुद्धा ने उनको परसुएट किया कि आप महिलाओं को भी भिक्खुनी बना सकते हैं, संघ में एंट्री दे सकते हैं। एंड आप, डू यू नो हु वाज द फर्स्ट भिक्खुनी और द फर्स्ट वुमन to be ordained as the bhikkhuni in the sangha of Buddha? It was Buddha's foster mother Mahapajapati Gautami, right? And once एक बार जब संघ में आ जाते थे, how decisions were made, how people used to think, basically discussions were done, and true, after thorough discussion only something was accepted। but if during a discussion there used to be a, let's say, a hurdle or the roadblock, ki if people are not agreeing to something, then decisions were taken by vote on that particular subject। that also used to happen in the sangha। now this is very important, prelims में इसकी relevance बहुत ज़्यादा high है। what is Therigatha? Therigatha is a text which is a part of Sutta Pitaka that we studied, right? Sutta Pitaka का ये part है, and basically it talks about, it's a collection of verses composed by bhikkhunis। okay, how at that time women were in the society, what were their spiritual experiences, all those are written in this Therigatha। okay, Punna, who was a dasi or a slave woman, went to the river each morning to fetch water for her master's household। there she would daily see a brahmana performing bathing rituals। one morning she spoke to him, following are the verses which were composed by Punna। I am a water carrier, even in the cold I have always gone down to the water, frightened of punishment, डर के मारे, क्योंकि मुझे पानी लेकर आना है हर दिन सुबह, और the angry words of high class women। so what are you afraid of brahmana? मैं तो डर की वजह से पानी लेने आती हूँ। अब ये ब्राह्मणा रोज पानी में अपने रिचुअल्स परफॉर्म कर रहा है, तो वो ये पूछ रही है कि आपको किसका डर है, आप क्यों पानी में इतना नीचे तक इतनी ठंड में जा रहे हो? सो द ब्राह्मणा रिप्लाइड, आई एम डूइंग गुड टू प्रिवेंट इविल। anyone young or old who has done something bad is freed by washing in water। that means आपके सारे पाप धुल जाते हैं अगर सुबह सुबह आप ये रिचुअल परफॉर्म करते हो। तो पुन्ना इज आस्किंग, whoever told you you are freed from evil by washing in the water? आप पानी में सुबह नहाते हो, उससे आपके पाप धुल जाते हैं, किसने बोला आपको? who told you that? in that case all frogs and turtles would go to heaven, even the crocodiles। Instead, don't do that thing, the fear of which leads you to the water। Stop now, Brahmana, save your skin from the cold। This was said by the Punna। See the wise words coming from, someone at that time। कि आपको किसने बोला? ऐसे तो मेंढक जो पानी में रहते हैं, सांप, क्रोकोडाइल सब पानी में रहते हैं, कछुए पानी में रहते हैं, उनके भी पाप धुल जाते होंगे, वो भी सब स्वर्ग जाएंगे। ऐसे मत करो, जो आपको डर के, पाप के डर से, फ्रॉम बिकॉज ऑफ द fear of being in hell, you are trying to wash away your sins by drowning yourself in the water, by bathing in the water। that is wrong। इतनी ठंड में अपने साथ इतना जुल्म मत करो। सिर्फ अगर पानी में डुबकी लगाने से पाप धुल जाते तो क्या ही बात होती। तो these were the words said by Punna and they are recorded in this थेरी गाथा। इस तरीके की जो भी अब यू कैन से वर्सेस हैं, थेरी गाथा में रिकॉर्डेड है। so this is very very important for prelims that you should remember। and this is, see, shown over here, right, in a sculpture also। यहाँ पर सेम कहानी स्कल्पचर में भी शो हो रही है। नाउ लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट आर्क एंड आर्किटेक्चर ऑफ दैट टाइम। अगर हम स्तूपास की बात करें, देखो, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल व्हाट वाज द पर्पस ऑफ क्रिएटिंग दीज स्तूपास? दीज वर इनिशियली बुरियल mounds। okay, for what? write it down, for Buddha's relics, for storing Buddha's relics। So basically, these were, write it down, symbol of dharma and cosmos and cosmos. And अगर आप स्तूपा को देखो, if you look at the stupa, this is known as the dome, which is known as the anda. Okay, then we have hermika. स्तूपा में हमारे पास होता है एक hermika. Then we have yashti. Then we have chhatri. Then we have stone railings. We have toranas. Toranas means the gateways. I'll show you the sculpture of, diagram of a stupa. So here you see how Super Kalam is explaining stupa. Stupa basically is a Sanskrit word for heap, a mound. Okay. तो इसके origin अगर हम देखें, so basically it has pre-Buddhist origins also, but it is heavily associated with Buddhism. All right. And another important aspect, it became very famous during the rule of Emperor Ashoka. अब यहाँ पर ये देखो, I told you ना that we will understand each and every architectural part of stupa. So we have anda, hemispherical dome. Then we have hermika, which is a square railing around the stupa. We have yashti, which is the pillar of the stupa. एंड जो सेंटर में ऊपर आप टॉप में देखते हो, आई शो यू द डायग्राम ऑल्सो ओवर हियर. ठीक है, ये अम्ब्रेला टाइप फिगर देख रहे हो, ये यष्टि हो जाती है आपकी. दिस इज कॉल्ड यष्टि. तो यू विल गेट दिस ऑल दीज डायग्राम्स एंड एवरीथिंग. देखो, इट इज फ्रॉम थिंकर्स बिलीव्स एंड बिल्डिंग्स एनसीईआरटी क्लास 12th, राइट, जो हम अभी पढ़ रहे हैं. यू जस्ट हैव टू गो टू सुपर कलाम, राइट, can you explain stupa, and everything about the stupa will be explained nicely over here. Then there are different types of stupas also. Four categories होती हैं. We have saririka stupa, which is built over the bodily relic remains of the Buddha. We have paribhogika stupa, which is built over the objects used by Buddha. We have uddeshika stupa, which is basically to mark a particular event in the life of Buddha. And we have votive stupa. Votive stupa बहुत important है. This is asked in prelims. Small stupas which is erected by the devotees, right? तो वो votive stupa होता है, basically a mark, a symbol. All right. So this is very very important aspect. जब भी आप stupas पढ़ो या architectural aspect पढ़ो, आपको सुपर कलाम से basically diagrammatic form में पढ़ने को मिलेगा. This is how through diagrams, and you can utilize these diagrams in your mains answer writing also. All right. So we have major Buddhist sites on this map. Make sure you are remembering it. हमको पता है सांची के बारे में, अजंता के बारे में we know about Barhut because we have a stupa at Barhut, right? We have Lumbini, Shravasti, Kushinagar, right? So Amravati आ गया यहाँ पर. These are the places which are also related to the life of Buddha. Okay. Now this is very important aspect. Why were stupas built? As I told you, अभी हमने पढ़ा, we know that stupas were built to commemorate the objects related to Buddha, the relics of Buddha, the events in the life of Buddha, right? तो ये एक important aspect हो जाता है. But this is very important according to a Buddhist text which is known as Ashoka Vandana. This is very important. Ashoka distributed portions of Buddha's relics to every important town and ordered construction of stupas over them. That is why Sanchi and Sarnath में आपको stupas देखने को मिलेंगे. Right? This is very very important aspect. You should know why these stupas were made. And now the next question is, how were stupas built? Now these stupas were built because of the contribution of many people. For example, kings used to contribute. Satvahanas जो थे उन्होंने भी contribute किया था. Then guilds, for example, the unions, आइवरी वर्कर्स का यूनियंस था जिन्होंने फाइनेंस किया था, पार्ट ऑफ द गेटवे तोरण एट सांची. देन मेनी women gave their donations. Bhikkhus and bhikkhunis also contributed towards building these monuments, and that is how these stupas were created. Now let us understand the sculpture and what was the symbolism behind these sculptures. If we look at the early art, Buddhism में अगर हम देखें, Buddha has been depicted by different symbols. For example, wheel, dharma chakra, the cycle of life and birth and death, Bodhi tree under which he gained enlightenment. Later art, देखो empty throne while he was renouncing the life of a prince. Later art में देखें, in Mahayana form of Buddhism we see anthropomorphic Buddha images. We study about Mahayana Buddhism also, don't worry. Popular motifs में मैं आपको दिखाती हूँ शलभंजिका, which is known as the fertility symbol. शलभंजिका अगर आप यहाँ पर देखो, this is the most famous symbol, right? Fertility symbol बोला जाता है इसको. This is शलभंजिका. After very very careful examination of literary traditions, we realized that it could be this particular symbol could be a representation of Shalbhanjika. This was a woman whose touch caused trees to flower and bear fruit. That is why fertility symbol माना गया कि जिस भी पेड़ को या फ्रूट को छुएंगी वो अपने आप में it will bear fruit. The tree or the flower of the tree will bear fruit. So it is likely that this was regarded as an auspicious symbol and it was integrated into the decoration of stupa also. Another important aspect is that the Shalbhanjika motif suggests that many people who turn to Buddhism enriched it with their own pre Buddhist and even non Buddhist belief, practices, and ideas. ओके, सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सब अपने फर्टिलिटी से रिलेटेड, अपने रिलीजन से रिलेटेड जो आइडियाज है वो इस सिंबल के साथ एसोसिएट भी करते थे. So this is again important. Now if we look at this elephant motif or sculpture, it basically relates with strength. There are sculptures and motifs of lions which relates with power, right? Serpents, अगर आप देखोगे यहाँ पर serpents के जो symbol है साची, it represents again fertility. Serpents are associated with fertility and mysticism. Okay, so these are important aspect. ये कुछ important aspects है that you have to remember. Now after these stupas and sculptures that we found, we also saw the building of temples. For example, pehle initially na what used to happen, I'll draw an image. There was a square room where there was a, it was known as the garbhagriha. इस small room को ना गर्भगृह बोलते थे. Garbha means womb, griha means house, where the sculpture or the you can say the image of the deity used to be kept. Okay, and there was a single doorway. ये doorway होता था. The devotee can enter through this doorway and used to sit and worship the deity. This was a single room, single doorway room for the worshipper to enter and offer worship to the image. But later on, the temples also expanded. A tall structure, which is also known as the Shikhara, was built. This is the Garbhagriha, and on that a tall शिखरा was built just like this. ठीक है, अब यहाँ पर आप देखोगे कि एक स्मॉल ये गर्भगृह है. दिस इज द सैंक्टम सैंक्टोरम गर्भगृह. इट इज ऑल्सो नोन एज सैंक्टम सैंक्टोरम, right? And then later on, top figures or top sculptures over the garbhagriha were created called shikara, right? It was built over the central shrine. Temple walls were often decorated with sculpture. उसको और elaborate कर दिया गया. साउथ इंडिया में आप जाओगे तो बड़े बड़े गोपुराम्स आपको देखने को मिलेंगे on which huge images, huge sculptures are created. Okay, अब in this NCRT ना, at the back page number 110 में if you go, there is this timeline, second timeline that you have to focus on. Year wise questions can be asked in prelims. 1814, what happened? Indian Museum in Calcutta was founded. Okay, then 1834, publication of essay on architecture of Hindus by Raja. Then this is very important. James Ferguson surveys major archaeological sites. ये बहुत important है. H.H. Cole appointed as curator of ancient monuments in 1880. ठीक है, 1914, this is very important. John Marshall and Alfred Foucher published the monuments of Sanchi. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. देन ये 1989 का ईयर, तो आई विल मार्क इट डाउन. दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज इन दिस ईयर सांची वॉज डिक्लेयर्ड एज वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट. तो मेक श्योर दैट यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग, रिवाइजिंग दीज टाइमलाइंस ऑन पेज नंबर 110. इसको तो जरूर रिवाइज करना ही करना है. आई ऑल्सो पिन इट अप इन दी नोट्स विच आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर आफ्टर दिस सेशन. बट आपको भी इसको पिन अप करके रिवाइज करना ही करना है. All right, so this was your class for today. I hope that you enjoyed the session. I hope that you understood the session. But the class is not over yet. अभी class खत्म नहीं हुई है. If you think that class is over, no, it is not, because a very important differentiation is remaining. वो important differentiation क्या है? We are going to create two slides over here. First is between Mahayana Buddhism and Hinayan Buddhism. Second is between Digambara tradition in Jainism and Swetambara tradition. These are the two differences that we need to prepare first. Now here, when we talk about Mahayana Buddhism and Hinayan Buddhism, Hinayan is the oldest one. It is also known as Theravada school of Buddhism. And basically it is considered as the original form of Buddhism. It traces back to Buddha's time. Primary region over here is Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar and Laos. And another important aspect is that the goal of Hinayan Buddhism was to attain arhatship. Arhatship means personal nirvana, right? But here in Mahayana Buddhism, the goal was to become a bodhisattva. That means a person who helps others to attain nirvana. Ideal here was compassion and wisdom, but in Hinayan Buddhism, the ideal is wisdom plus discipline. That's how you attain personal liberation, personal salvation. Then here the view was that Buddha is God. Buddha is divine being. But in Hinayan Buddhism, they used to say that Buddha was not a divine being, he was a human who was a teacher who understood what liberation is, and he tried to teach it to other people. So divinity यहाँ पर missing थी. These are the basic differences between Mahayana and Hinayan Buddhism. Now, when we talk about Digambara sect in Jainism and Swetambara sect in Jainism, again you will see that there are commonalities. Digambar means sky. So people here, they are naked. They have renounced every possession, including clothes, and it is very famous in southern India. The origin point is in southern India. In Digambara sect, it is said that women cannot attain moksha because they cannot, renounce every possession in their life. So it is hard for women to attain moksha. And here they used to believe that Mahavira never married. He was a naked, saint, and he never got married. And यहाँ पर फोकस ना austerities पे रही है, extreme penance, extreme detachment पे रहता है focus. But in Swetambara sect basically used to follow Agama's text in Jainism, and they were white clad. Swet means white. That means they wear basically white clothes. But here it is said that women can attain moksha. महिलाएं भी मोक्ष अटेन कर सकती हैं. जैन महावीर जैन वॉज मैरिड, एंड इट अलाउज पेनेंस बट इन मॉडरेशन. बिल्कुल एक्सट्रीम पेनेंस, एक्सट्रीम ऑस्टेरिटी श्वेतंबरा सेक्ट में नहीं फॉलो की जाती. दैट इज द बेसिक डिफरेंस बिटवीन बोथ द सेक्ट्स इन जैनिज्म. So this was your class for today. Now practice previous year questions on the topics that you have covered. Jainism, Buddhism के ऊपर PYQs practice करने हैं. Make sure you revise this class, and in the comment section do write that you have revised. जब एक बार आप revise कर लो ना, तो बस एक बार लिख देना comment section में that we have revised, because I see, I observe the comments in all our videos, right? So I can see that how disciplined and sincere you guys are. On this note, we are wrapping up the session, everyone. Keep revising, keep practicing. I am literally proud of each one of you if you are staying in this session till the very end.